Hello, everybody. It is really great to participate in this webinar, and thank you very much, everyone who joined our webinar, where we would like to share with you some knowledge, some experience, and some insights on Dynamics 365 field services. Just brief introduction. I am Raimondas Maciulevičius. I am Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement Apps and Power Platform Business Line Manager at Companion, working more than 17 years with Microsoft Dynamics products. And together with my colleague, Tautvydas Dagys, who is Solution Architect and Power Platform CRM Team Lead, we will talk about what are the possibilities with Companion, talking about new Dynamics 365 apps implementation, and we will focus today on field service. Brief introduction, Companion. I believe that you know what is Companion. Just a few facts. We see ourselves as ambassadors for Dynamics partner community. We have more than 250 employees which are working with which have really long experience in dynamic products. We are working and cooperating together with more than 1,000 dynamic partners in more than 70 countries. We have really big experience in Business Central, in ERP business, also in finance and supply chain management area. We are really proud to say that for 8 years in a row, we are achieving prestigious status as inner circle member for Microsoft, and we are really happy to share our knowledge and understanding about Microsoft product with you partners. We are experts not just in ERP, not just with working with big solutions, but also with this new evolving customer engagement and Power Platform area. In next slide, we would like to share with you how big this family is, and we would like. I just before entering this webinar, I quickly checked what are the status in Release Planner from Microsoft. I checked. Okay, it's like a popular sales application, customer engagement app. They have more than 50 recently released features. I checked on field services. They have more than 20 newly released features. And I checked on Business Central. They had 287 newly released features. So it's really a lot of new things happening in this Dynamic 365 environment, in this ecosystem. And how it's possible to cope with this speed of the changes of existing applications, and how to cope with new features which are arriving to this ecosystem via new solutions. So we see that Companion could support you partners in this area. We could work together and bring our expertise, our knowledge on Dynamics 365 apps implementation, development, support in all areas where we can, together with you, fulfill what your customer expects. And today we will talk more detailed about field service. But before that, I would like to ask you about one thing. It would be really great for us to understand what is your background. What is your background? Who you are, just to understand how this need of learning about new products spreading in partners environment. And now with your question and with your polls released. So then I hope that you will answer those simple questions. And now I'm handing the word or stage to our expert, Tautvydas Tonė-Dagys.
Thank you. Thank you, Raimondas. Yeah, so good to see so many partners, as we see from the answers, and also coming from so many different locations. Yeah, so from our side, we would like to share information about Dynamics 365 Field Service by answering probably one of the most common questions about why we should use it, when we should use it. Also, me as an architect, I really love to share some structures, how the things are connected in Microsoft ecosystem, field service within all components inside of field service, and also how it's interconnected with all other products and services within Microsoft ecosystem. Then I'll show you a brief demo, and yeah, a bit more architecture, and yeah, Raimondas will close our session, sharing more details about how we usually work with partners and how we help them in different projects and engagements. Yeah, and of course, in the end, we will be able to answer the questions. But if you have questions, so feel free to ask right now in the Q&A section. You will find it in the screen, and our colleagues will try to moderate that. And if we won't manage to answer during the whole event, so we will answer it later. For all the attendees with the materials we'll share with you. So, question, why Dynamics Field Service? Of course, it would be interesting to hear, maybe you already have tried it, and what is your experience with the field service. So on the way, yeah, when we'll get a second poll, you'll be able to answer those questions. Yeah. So first, of course, what we see at the moment and what Microsoft is looking and what different researchers are aggregating is that nowadays, first thing is that many companies are really looking into digital transformation. Much more companies are really looking how to move from paper processes, from Excels to really systems interconnected through apps and integrations and etc. And many researchers as well shows that companies are really looking not only into selling goods, but really transforming into business where it would be supported with service, so that everything would be run rate income, and you are not selling and forgetting the customer, but you have a possibility constantly to meet them, follow up, help them, and actually do upsell during that process. And also, it's from Statista research, it's visible that the Internet of Things are growing very fast, and many companies are really looking into that. It means that your equipment, devices which you deliver somewhere to the field, like vending machines or some real machinery like mining systems or something, you really want to connect to them remotely and get information even before something happened wrong with them, and to be able to fix and prevent and as much as possible remotely. Yeah, so and in order to address that market need, so most of the companies face very similar problems, like lack of communication between customer and your field team, the engineers or the delivery people, support people who are going on site to your customers to install, to fix something, to inspect. It's really for companies who have lots of agile, many small visits per day. They see the problem that it's really hard to optimize the traveling, how to put resources who are closest to the site, how to optimize the route between different locations so that to waste as much as less time and fuel and effort. Of course, many like back office team is seeing that it's always hard to see where the engineers are. Did they already visit it? Did they finish their on-site visit? And that's always they need to call over phone and etc. to find out what's happening. Can they change something? If they got instructions to change, or if they want to assign new work order and etc. So today there is a challenge, and of course lots of manual data entries all over, like field service engineers. They're getting back to the office, they have to fill in reports, they have to print something, get paper signatures and etc. And that's really time consuming and time which is really spent not efficiently. And actually the very simple answer to all those issues, so it's to have some good tool, and which would suggest and pick the right person which is in the right place at the right time with the right skills and the right equipment to serve your customer on site, or sometimes even remotely with the help of Internet of Things. And usually I'm in my sessions I'm saying that that there is no silver bullet to solve all the problems, but learning from the field service projects, I really could say that for this particular problem, for this particular segment, this is actually a silver bullet. It solves all the problems which are listed before, and we can see how Microsoft is really improving it all the time, introducing new features, optimizing, and addressing the problems which was like a year ago or 2 years ago. And today, partners can really make much easier deployments and implementations. So, and Microsoft with the Dynamics Field Service solution, they are focusing on those main 4 areas, like transform customer engagement with a personalized service experience, so that first your back office would be equipped with all necessary data about customer, about assets, about products they have, and etc., etc. And also by giving customer themselves self-service capabilities, where they can see, they can schedule the visit, they can see the history, and providing it much more transparent way. Of course, technicians, who are the main part in all this service delivery, empower them as much as possible. It means give the tool which will provide all the necessary information, capabilities, possibilities to see what they have to do, what they will have to do next, have constant communication with the team, have instructions, manuals, history, have possibility to answer all other questions to customer. That's very important. And of course, deliver outcome-based value. So it means that the visit with a purpose, with the exact instructions and right tools and everything, so that on the first visit, engineer will get completed what was expected, install or fix the equipment or other things on site, so that there would be no repeating visits and etc., so that they get everything what they need. And of course, as I mentioned, IoT, Microsoft investing a lot here, and so that you would be able to prevent even incidents, prevent problems, or have possibility to diagnose problems remotely before the visit. That's also very important. Yeah, and when we have discussions with partners, so we often face that question. So what kind of companies we should offer a field service solution? Who are the target audience? Yeah, if providing very simplified explanations, so we can split it into like three, the most clear criterias when this field service solution is really suitable and really solves the problems. When the company or some other organization, even NGOs or governmental organizations, they are doing different type of visits, on-site visits, inspections, and etc. So this is really a good tool to support that. Since somebody has to go there to check equipment, they need to see what's there, they have to be scheduled, they have to get all the supportive information, and of course the questionnaire for inspection itself. Then maybe not so obvious scenario, but usually we see companies are implementing in like vending machines, vending services, or even like the companies which are delivering mats, towels, and etc., so that they can quickly see when it's getting finished. For example, with IoT, to get refills, restocks, and etc., and have the most optimal routes across the city, and to do it on time, so that none of the places are empty of stock and etc. And the most obvious, of course, is the different equipment installation and maintenance stuff which we have on site. So like telcos, internet providers, cable television providers, different security systems, alarm systems, different kind of refrigerators, refrigerating systems for retail locations, and etc., etc. Or even like landlords who are supporting office buildings, they also are implementing field service, since they have to go and fix something on site. Of course, sometimes we even meet not so obvious scenarios. Let's say field service is very rich implementation and has, for example, rich scheduling engine where you can schedule right resources with the right skills, people for the right job. So there was one project where I was helping. It was governmental organization which was taking care of like immigration office, and they had kind of scheduled immigration visits for people who were still seeking asylum or seeking some compensations, and etc., or just wanted to register, and so on and so on. So, and for every different case, there was different kind of people needed with a different like language knowledge, different skills, different locations, and etc. So field service was used for to organize all that scheduling part. So was not so much about delivering, but booking people, booking rooms, and booking other equipments, and self-service portal, so that visitors can see themselves when their appointment, have possibility to change it, and so on and so forth. So even in not so those scenarios which are not so directly obvious. Okay, so maybe now the question, how about your experience? Did you had any projects with the field service? Maybe you already implemented or you are at the moment looking to implement. Would be happy to hear it in our poll, which is appearing just now. Mhm. Yeah, probably we are as Microsoft community. Most of those who tried Dynamics Field Service, and also you see that partners are trying implement themselves, and actually that's also coming from our experience when partners are thinking that yeah the scenario is clear, and let's say customer is small, they're not ready to pay the full price and etc. So partner is offering to create something similar, and etc. Yeah, so sometimes it could be the case, but yeah, it's very important to measure the effort, um, and I always recommend to really try to very deeply learn about Microsoft product, see what it's all about, what kind of functionalities there, and etc. Just for you to feel all the scenarios. Even if you decide to develop yourself, you can more or less try to keep the industry standard and etc. Not reinvent the wheel. And maybe when your customer grows up, you can migrate them on Microsoft solution. Yeah, but usually it's really complex. Even I've been on the field service projects, on Microsoft field service projects, when we did only configuration with lots of course, configuration and lots of integrations and etc. Like projects was running for 2 years or more. Some of course are, if you're going more standard way, it might be a couple of months and so on. So if you would be developing yourself, so it might be also, you should account that it might be years of effort, and sometimes you want to bring value faster to your customers. Okay, thanks for your answers. So let's get into architecture, and this diagram actually shows general Power Platform and Microsoft Business applications coexistence. And in the this green box, we have Power Platform environment, and we have all different Power Platform services like Power Automate, Canvas apps, and etc. But the most important in this area is Dataverse. So remember that Dataverse is very important, especially when we are speaking about field service scenario, since field service itself is nothing else as a model-driven app developed by Microsoft today, and it's living inside of the Dataverse. You can build your own model-driven app, and field service is Microsoft's version. What's good about that is that it coexists together with all other Microsoft customer engagement apps like sales, customer service, marketing, and etc. etc. So in general, they're living in the same database. So you don't need to think about integration with a CRM, for example, since it's already sharing the same tables. It's in the same environment. So you just get the integration out of the box. Of course, Microsoft ERP lives outside. They have its own infrastructure and etc. But Microsoft is providing a good ways to integrate, and the main way is to integrate to Dataverse, so that we could have the field service, let's say synchronization. So it also goes through Dataverse. And also we have all the big crowd of connectors and etc., where we can integrate, connect to all the outer world. So when we think about Microsoft Field Service process flow, so it's can start from different locations, like as a support ticket, as a sales opportunity, as your regular ongoing agreement. And out of that, we're getting work order, which we later schedule. It means we find the right resources, we dispatch, we provide all the information which is needed for that, for those engineers. Then engineers does the service, and then everything gets back for review, approvals, and then we get invoices and other inventory adjustments out of that process. So the process itself is kind of pretty simple. Here is just quick glimpse into the data model. Data model, clearly the central piece is work order. It's everything is around that. So, and work order is naturally connected to accounts and contacts, which is shared with all other customer engagement apps. We have functional locations, we have assets. Assets are physical installation of your equipment on your customer site, and which is grouped into functional locations. Then we have products, which is your generic thing which you are selling and which later becomes an asset when it's get deployed and installed. We have all the magic of price lists, discounts, and etc., etc. Then we have resources and the kind of people who are doing the work, and also equipment and anything which needs to be booked for the job. People are for people we can define the skills skill set they have, so that we would know that somebody certified in electrical engineering should go and do this type of work, or somebody certified in this and that, or with this experience should go and fix let's say industrial refrigerator. Then we are getting generated resource requirements. We do the scheduling, we get bookings where we say that this person is booked and this equipment is booked for this work order. Then everything is also related to agreements. We get incidents, tasks, which we define what engineers has to do on site, notes, documents, in the ways to define inspections. Later we get the actuals, results, the time, how much is spent, and what kind of equipment is used, and so on. And then later we can get invoice. It's very simplified. There's of course much more of tables involved in this picture. Okay, so now let's switch to a demo where I will demonstrate a fairly simple scenario, and later I will elaborate a bit more what I haven't showed afterwards. Okay, I will stopping this presentation, and I'm getting my browser to the screen. I hope it's visible. Yep. So what we have here is our Dynamics 365 Dataverse environment, where we get special URL. This is demo environment, so it's the URL is not so understandable. Yeah. So here we can see that in this environment we have many model-driven apps. As I mentioned, they coexist together, like sales, customer service, and it might be also our custom apps which might be living here. And now this is field service app. It's, if you look at, pretty big. So as I mentioned, yeah, we can see also dashboards where we can follow different work order statuses and etc. We have work orders itself. We have schedule board, like everything about scheduling. We see our customers. We see related support tickets or cases, which might not need to have physical visits on site. Then we have assets, all the asset management, grouping into functional locations, IoT, as I mentioned. Here we can switch to other sections where it's related to sales. Since it's very interconnected. As I mentioned, that work orders can be coming out of like support ticket when something has broke, or it can come as a sales opportunity. Somebody has ordered a new I don't know, television, TV set-top box from us, and we have to go and install it for them. So we have here grouped leads and opportunities which are coming from Sales App. We have quotes, orders, invoices, and actuals, which I already mentioned in the data model. Then inventory management. It's also pretty big module. So we have product inventory. So inventory means that we are tracking through warehouses what kind of products we have, how many remaining stock we have, and if we decide that we want our field service solution to track it, we enable all those products for inventory tracking. And whenever we are using any products within our work order, then those are deducted from and added to the journals and etc., deducted from the warehouse, and we can track what's our remaining quantities and etc. Then we have different, it comes with the different journals like adjustments, transfers, different return to manufacturer receipts, return to the vendor receipts, and etc. Also purchase orders, receipts and bills if our engineers are buying something during the service visit and so on. Sometimes they just buying some oil or something just in regular shop and later expensing it and charging customer. Then we have all the logic about resources, where we define, as I mentioned, resources which could be connected to different entities. So resources, and it's really nice story, since resources can be not only our users who are in our tenant, have our Office 365 accounts and etc. It could be also contacts who are not part of our Active Directory and etc. We can use contact, can use users, we can use generic resources where we can define, as I mentioned, it's possible to define equipment and so on and so forth. Then we define characteristics. So what every person can do, how proficient they are, and etc. Defining the levels of the proficiency and so on. Then we define different pay types, could be overtime, weekend time, and etc. We define templates, requirements, statuses. It's really hardly configurable solution, so we can play around with all the statuses and so on. So sometimes at the beginning it might be a bit overwhelming to start, but actually if you go through and etc., already second, third project, it's already much easier. Or first, if you would do it together with us. So we define different configurational things. More kind of settings all over. where we define incident types. Inspections, I mentioned, is pretty new functionality. And yeah, you can define your own inspection where you can do it on site. All the IoT configuration and so on. Yeah, I'll mention geolocation as well later. Okay, so this is a quick overview about overall field service solution. And in general, so there are mainly two yeah, maybe increase zoom in a little bit. Two apps which I used in this scenario. So this is like web app, back office app, which is used by dispatchers, salespeople, and etc. And then we have very rich mobile application, which is used by field service engineers, naturally, on the phones or tablets when they're going to the visit. So we have two main apps here. I'm now showing the web app. Okay, so let's start a quick scenario, and let's see what we can do with it. Okay, so let's go to service and let's check cases. So this is our place where we're registering tickets. It's like our service desk. We're getting tickets over email, phone, and wherever. And we got something about equipment failure. Our support engineer on the phone, and they tried to reach to customer, and yeah, they were not able to fix it and so on. So they need to get somebody to go and fix on site. So this is normal case. We have customer assigned. We know the contact who was coming to us. We have satisfaction. It was neutral, neither very angry, not very satisfied since something broke. We have contacts. And etc. We have previous cases, which is really nice, since we can see the history, what was happening before with this customer. Lots of many things, relationships, SLAs, and etc. But that's not so interesting in this scenario. What's interesting is here we are getting a field service tab where we need to do a small treatment before we will get into field services. Yeah, let's say, yeah, we got information that the part is broken and we have to choose functional location. Functional location is some logical units how we define some places on customer side. It might be different facilities, storages, manufacturing facilities, even different floors, and etc. We can organize them hierarchically, and then we can assign different assets to those functional locations. Okay, but now I'm done, and I can save it, and I have magic button here, convert to work order. I click it, and see inside interoperability cases coming from customer service module, and now we are going into field service module. That's fine. I got a work order generated. It's totally new object for me. It will remain and keep the link. It will bring over the information needed, which was already on the case present. So it's just integrated like that. So we got a work order number generated. We have the same account, customer assigned. In field service, we can split between the account which we have to go and service and the billing to whom we are like we might issue the invoices to our to HQ office, central office, and we can support many different locations. We got functional location, status naturally. Work order type was assigned automatically for us, install and replace. We got price list, which was inherited from work order. Price list will have all the prices. And we got replace broken parts since we selected on the case. Yeah. what's missing? Asset. So let's try to find. Yeah, it's easy. We're getting all assets which are assigned to this functional location. We are selecting because we'll be servicing that asset. Yeah, and I go to other tabs, and I want to write instructions to my field service engineer. Now I'm working as a dispatcher, and I don't exactly know what was there. I want to quickly check with my colleagues somewhere. And now, thanks to a new integration to Teams, I can do a quick chat, which would be directly connected to this recorder, and it will go to the Teams. It will have the connectivity between Dataverse and Teams, and I can ask. Yeah, I can ask colleague, and this chat will remain always connected, or I can continue directly in Teams and etc. This is really nice new feature. Yeah, let's say we got an answer. Well, I can provide instructions to our engineer. Okay. Yeah. Then I have products and services connected here. What does it mean? Products, I can add something here, and products will be a like the equipment itself, or it could be like a spare parts or other equipment I have to bring together. And I say that, yeah, let's take 5 armbands. Probably the engineer will need it. If not, he'll bring it back. And I'm saying, yeah, let's take it from the main warehouse, 5 items, and yeah, I'm assigning the product already to this work order. I can choose service. In Dynamics context is also a product. Yeah, let's quickly take something. Yeah, armband installation. That's natural. I maybe will need 2 hours to do that, but we'll see later. And it gets status estimated at the beginning, so it's nothing built until it will be changed to consumed. Next, I'm getting service tasks. Automatically, they were coming from the template, like template of replacing the part. I got even the estimated time and etc. And this is already prepared steps for my engineer. I can add knowledge base articles if that's needed. And also we can see location, which is automatically inherited from functional location. Also, yeah, I'll put some kind of timing when we expect to when customer expects to get this visit. Okay. So now I'm here. I'm changing the stage on business process flow to scheduling, and now it's still unscheduled. I'm switching to schedule board, which is really big component within field services. It's shared with the customer service, project operations, and project for the web. And actually, it's a lot about scheduling. As I mentioned in one project, partner used only field services due to this powerful engine. And I see my staff who's available. I can do filters by different characteristics, as I mentioned, by the locations, and etc. etc. And then I take unscheduled work order and I drag and drop it, and for example schedule it for today. Boom, and I getting the booking. I will oops, I assigned it to a wrong person, but I right click and I will change it to right engineer, whom I know. Move to nope. Okay, assigning to Tony, and yeah, so it's booked. Booking was updated. If I search Tony here, I'll see that work order scheduled for him. And also I can see the legend, since all the bookings has different colors and icons and etc. based on the statuses. So me as the dispatcher in the back office, I can track and see who's doing what, who's assigned for what, and reschedule, change, and etc. etc. But yeah, so now if I get back to work order, I see the status already changed to scheduled. And I can switch to an engineer view, and I can share my mobile device. And this is Field Service mobile app on the Android. So it's also available on iOS. The Windows version for tablets is a bit lagging in the feature wise, but of course Microsoft is making it available. Nice thing is that this is this app is supporting the offline mode by default. So when we have to visit somewhere, warehouses, sellers, and etc. So usually there is lack of internet and etc. So it automatically supports offline mode, and that's very powerful engine. And now I'm getting to my view, and I can switch between like day view, like calendar view. See where it's today. Yeah, I see it's scheduled for myself. I can check on map as well, and so on. So this is my work order. I can see later others, what will be next, and so on. But usually when I come to the field, first thing I have to go and do and change the status to in progress. It will capture the time when I started to work on it. I can update other things like actual arrival time. So now it grabbed when I changed it, and etc. etc. I can write how many kilometers I was driving, how long I was driving, and etc. So all the different information I put here. I can save it, and in our back office right away they can see what's happening. They see the progress, status change, and etc. Then I'm opening the work order itself, and I can see the information what I have to do, and I can go to service tasks, which is more like instructions for myself, and I can go on complete, complete. And here I have also inspection, which I will open, and I see the inspection is attached right below. What I have to do, I have to evaluate the equipment, give some value, write some note, and add some picture to it. And yeah, it's not only for inspection, but I can notes, pictures, and do all the documentation for my service visit itself. Yeah, and when I complete everything, I get back to my booking. Since this was a work order, I open booking. I change the status into completed, I save it. And I can, just in case, to do the sync and get back to my back office. Okay, switching off the sharing. Okay, yeah, and back office. If I refresh the work order, I get all the information back. And now I can, as the dispatcher, I can change, for example, or engineer would be able to change, for example, statuses from estimated to used, how many products were used, how many hours were actually used. It could be automated as well. And when I change status, it will generate me invoice. But yeah, not to take too much time, I'm switching back to my slides. And that was the basic process of field service, from dispatching to going to engineer and getting back with all the results and generating the invoice. So, and what we haven't seen was agreements, which is possibility to have regular maintenance agreements, which automatically would generate work orders for us. Geofencing, like we can say, as define the locations, and the statuses would be changing automatically when engineer coming or leaving those locations. Invoice generation, inventory management, I a bit showed. You can take the spare parts and etc. from the warehouse, and it would be tracked. Dashboards on Power BI for all the reporting, analysis of the progress, efficiency, and etc. Knowledge-based management, where we can define the logic how one or other equipment should be serviced. Then self-service portal based on Power Pages. It's really rich. Here we see a sample screenshot of self-service portal. Really, that's one of the case which we can get as the template coming with the field service on the Dataverse, because today when you are doing such a type of service, it's really important part of that. And also customer voice integration, which is another Microsoft product, and you can do surveys after, automatically generate and send surveys after each visit. More advanced scenarios, IoT, I already mentioned. There's all the infrastructure to connect Azure IoT Hub and get all the automatical notifications, alerts, and so on. Mixed reality with HoloLens. Microsoft has additional products like D365 guides and remote assist, where you can get instructions for more complex equipment directly in your site in the augmented reality way. And also artificial intelligence. There is resource schedule optimization, the engine which can do the automatic scheduling for you, like let's say during the night. They can schedule the most optimal routes for the next day for all engineers if you have hundreds of visits all across the city, all across the country. So it's really important that all the routes are optimized logically and etc. Yeah, and also integrations. In my case, most of the field service projects ends up with the integrations to ERPs, to document management, to product lifecycle reporting, Power BI, and etc. Of course, no CRM, since CRM lives together. And this is very good quote from one of the researchers, and I really can back it up 100%, since if you equip your field service engineer with all the 360 view in the tool and etc., they can be a really good seller for you, since they visit customer, they make them happy, they fix the problems, install, and they can upsell them, they can answer the questions, and they can have everything in the hand by that tool. Yeah, and with this, I would like to get back the word to my colleague, Raimundas, in the way how we can support our partners in this area.
Thank you, Tautvydas. That was really astonishing. How many possibilities has this application, and I think that customer really in current environment requires really quick solutions. He would like to get as much as possible things to be done with less effort, to get as much as possible like a smooth processes, which actually means that we need to support them in these activities. And those business requirements are changing very fast, and also customer would like to be very flexible too, and make some configurational and other simple things to be changed in order to fit to those requirements, to those issues which we are changed. And in each case, customer would like to be like the business owner, but not always he would like to be some IT solution owner. So I think that partners quite well known this this approach, or those expectations from the customer, and how we can, as a companion, we can support you in this area. So actually, we think that in next slide, please. Yeah. So then I think that with our expertise, with our knowledge, so we could give you possibilities to win new customers, either to secure existing customers, because if you are specialized to ERP solution, it means that you maybe do not have enough experience in other workloads which are quite rapidly needed for the customers. And here we can enter and cooperate together with you and to deliver for your customers this missing gap. And this would secure the existing customers from, let's say, other partners who could enter as competitor into your customer environment. By adding those new workloads, we could be very well increased our license sales. We could be really good in all areas to support you to solve those customer expectations. And our companion center of excellence for Dynamics 365 customer engagement apps, we can support you in implementing new Microsoft applications. We could provide technical consultations. We can deliver complex developments within the bigger projects, which may be not enough experience from your side. And we also could assure ad hoc support for the delivered solution. We have managed services which could give you, with no investment, possibility to provide exceptional service for your customer. It would be really good to understand, and before we will jump into our question and answers, would you be interested in companion implementation service? Would you like to cooperate with us? So we would like to present this poll, the last poll, and then we could switch to our question and answers. I saw that we have a few very interesting questions from you, from participants. So we have, I see like 3 questions. Tautvydas, if you're ready to answer, so I can maybe either you will read it or okay, you are mute.
Yes,
okay, good.
Yeah. Just a second. Yeah, Q&A.
Maybe running out of time. I have some like yeah.
So first question from Javier. Can we see the bookings through a calendar? Yes. There is possibility to have integration. Probably so in calendar view. So in the app, there was possibility to see them in this inside field service app, but there is possibility also to synchronize to your Outlook calendar before doing like integration to your like Exchange server or Office 365, and then Workorders could there are many different settings, like it could, for scheduling, it could take in mind all other your calendar bookings from different sources, but also generate calendar in your Outlook, if that was the question. Okay, Stuart, is there any kind of automatic scheduling based on capacity, skills, location? Um, yeah, there are two options. One is manual. When I showed, that was very primitive way. I saw all my team, and I just drag and dropped it. Yeah. So what I could do differently there, I could do some pre-filtering before, so I can get only the people who have specific skills, who are there is possible to set the radius from the location where it should go, the distance, and many other properties we can put in. Then by filtering that, I can get filtered only the people, engineers, who can really suit my needs. That's kind of semi like manual and etc., just pre-filtered for me based on requirements. And the generic kind of table is the requirements, which is generated out of my work order incident and this preferred time and other things, the location. Everything is stored in so-called the resource requirement entry, which is used for booking later, which is attached to work order and used for booking. And this is how I can do filtering and matching for it. Other automatic way, as I mentioned, there is additional service, resource scheduling automation, optimization, where companies really who have a lot of movements around the cities and countries, they really do this with the help of artificial intelligence, where it calculates all possible locations, distances, and all different things, and provide really the best possible kind of schedule for the day or week and etc. Okay, Javier, can we get a signature from the client in order to have receipt of the job done? Yeah. Yes and no. Microsoft before used app from Rescom about CRM. They were licensing it, and that app has had rich possibility of getting signatures and etc. Now the app which I showed to you is the new, based on Power Apps model-driven app, and a special kind of a hosting app, which is you can download from app stores. It doesn't have so explicitly shown a kind of signature thing. You can attach files and etc. So with the additional customizations at the beginning, you can get that. But Microsoft promise is that they will do a feature par with the app which they had before, or the platform they used from third parties, and now they are just catching up. They're almost there, but there's still few places where they need to catch up that experience which they had before. Yeah. So next question from Patrick. Is there a direct connection to BC, or do we have to build it API? Yeah. So there is a data sync integration, which is a kind of standard way of integrating things with the Business Central to Dataverse. And it helps partially today. You can synchronize like accounts, contacts, products, items to products, price lists, sales orders, invoices, But for additional tables, you would need to extend it and develop additional tables. What I heard from Microsoft, that they are really looking as the highest priority to implement, to cover all missing data model, which would be specifically for field service scenario. So now you need to cover additional tables yourself, which are missing for synchronization. But the idea that Business Central has to synchronize data to field service, to data BC to Dataverse, sorry, where field service solution lives. Yeah, finance and operations in this area is in a better shape with a dual write and existing data model mappings available there. Yeah. Christian is asking, can this be integrated with a third-party CRM and ERP systems aside from other Microsoft apps? Yeah, of course, why not? Myself, I was implementing integration to SAP. The idea is similar. Yeah, custom integration. Of course, organization has its own integration kind of decisions and platform, how they're doing it. It just based on that, you map all the data model. So we're integrating quotations, which was initial starting point for work orders, and later, yeah, we're getting products from product lifecycle management system, custom, and then we were integrating later. We were not getting invoices directly here, but we were generating timesheets and pushing it back to SAP, and all the billing was already performed in SAP. That's possible. And CRM, of course, is possible. Like Dataverse Power Platform is so well designed for integrations due to all the connectors, Power Automate and Azure Logic Apps, if Power Automate is not enough, and very rich Dataverse APIs, which are available for every table there. Field Service has its own specific APIs on top of just OData APIs, the specific Field Service APIs. So it's really possible to integrate to other CRMs pretty easily. But Microsoft CRM lives together, so there is no need to integrate it at all. Yeah, that's it. That was all the questions, I think. So thanks a lot, everyone. And we are really happy to having you here, having all those questions. And if you have questions later, really welcome to reach out to us.